Welcome to the bold analysis. A storm is coming up from William Ruto's camp, and the problem is just one thing, that the president is making every decision looking at 2027. There was the PSC, the Public Accounts Committee, the Public Parliamentary Service Commission, PSC, and there's been a lot of contention on the people to be nominated to that commission. So, if you remember the first week of September, before Ruto's swearing in, I think, yes, before Ruto's swearing in, there was a parliamentary group meeting that Kenya Kwanza called. And that parliamentary group meeting was called to chat, or rather to speak about the leadership of the House. And from that, there was an agreement that was reached that Faith Gitau, UDA MP from Nyandarua, and John Kinyua from Laikipia, I think that's senator from Laikipia, were not supposed to present themselves, their candidature for any position, or rather any parliamentary position. I don't know what was the ground, but the understanding also was that Kenya Kwanza, UDA, and the other affiliate parties, they will be listened to and be handed opportunity to serve in the Parliamentary Service Commission. I'm looking at this. I've been following this very critical, because I actually understand one thing, that amongst all those parliamentary seats and committees that people get that are in parliament, the Parliamentary Service Commission is very special. Each member of parliament who is a member of that service commission will be in a position to appoint 7 people of his choice to the Parliamentary Service Commission. So he will be in a position to employ 7 people. Now, this is not on meritocracy. Himself, ataenda achukue mtoto wake, kijana wake, the niece and relatives, and even put there. So that's one of the positions that is very lucrative, but it's one of the most lucrative. That is why there was a contention between Omogeni and Oburu Odinga. Why Oburu Odinga wanted to go there? Of course, I had analyzed about it. So, this lot was also allegedly promised these latecomers who joined Kenya Kwanza late. Ugenya MP, I think David Ochien'g were the latecomers. A UDM post also joined late. And of course, Kenyans have been waiting into how this is going to play out. And let me tell you, there have been a rush before the 9th November deadline of the Azimio document. Okay, let me get. According to the Azimio coalition document, is that each member you can make a decision to leave the coalition 3 months, at least 3 months after the election. So after the general election. So that means election was on 9th August. It means the 3 months window is actually lapsing on 9th. Today is the 2. So in the next 7 days, parties will be free to leave Azimio coalition, those who, according to the Azimio document. So what we have actually is been happening is both Kenya Kwanza, the Kenya Kwanza team have been trying their level best to fix and finish up on the elections of different parliamentary positions. Of course, not Kenya Kwanza, but the political wings although. And they've been now trying to settle everything, so that in any case someone is going to cross over and go to Kenya Kwanza even after that lapse, there is nothing that is going to be available for him. So you see how the trap has been so interesting. And that is why some have even been trying to delay that process so that they wait legally, hiyo 9th ikiisha, wamalizane na Azimio, they cross over to the other side and get. And what I'm saying has been behind some two resignations that we've seen. Florence Mutua, deputy organizing secretary of ODM or secretary general, who was a former Busia women rep, resigned from the party. Here in Nairobi, someone also resigned. Nairobi, I think, is it someone Kwamboka, is it Beverly Kwamboka? Yes, Beverly Kwamboka, who was Nairobi County Deputy Secretary General here in the Nairobi County ODM chapter. She also resigned, and some of these resignations are people who've been resigning so that they join government, or maybe they're now going to be given some positions. So what has happened is UDA seems to have shortchanged the other parties, and this is what is happening. They have bagged all the floor slots because according to the arrangement was UDA nominated, not UDA, Kenya Kwanza was to nominate 4, then Azimio was to nominate 3. I want you to see how Azimio have, how what has happened. Now, UDA party have shortchanged all the other affiliate parties of Kenya Kwanza and have bagged all the 4 slots, and they've nominated the people that are heading to the PSC. Now, this is including Faith Gitau, who I told you, according to initial agreement, was not supposed to be there. And they've appointed the second person, Mohammed Ali Jichopevu, the Nyali MP. Joyce Korir, nominated, also nominated MP, I think Senate, I think nominated MP. This is the former Bomet women rep, if I'm not wrong. John Kenywa Laikipia. I'm even wondering, sometimes you try to look at it this way. Someone like Joyce Korir was nominated after getting nominated to the parliament, maybe to the parliamentary senate, but I think it's parliament. After getting nominated, again, she's being promoted to the PSC. See, the nomination was already a favor enough so that you give that position to another person. But it was all about it's our time to eat. Then, on that, if you look at those who've been picked, none is from the other affiliate parties of Kenya Kwanza. Not even the parties that came late. In fact, sadly enough, Justin Muturi, Alfred Mutua, the Mandatory Chap Chap, which other party, Moses Kuria, those other small briefcase parties were actually just used them for their own interest. They never serve the interest of their parties. I'm not seeing anyone who is really from the party affiliation getting appointments in cabinet or even in the permanent secretary positions. They're not getting. The only people that are benefiting are individuals who are the people who are party leaders. And of course, that's the nature of our politics. On the other side of Azimio, they have appointed Mishimboko to that PSC, Sirisia MP John Waluhe, and I saw today Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni taking for him the certificate in the prison there. Then John Mavoko MP Patrick Macau. So Patrick Macau is from Wiper, John Waluhe is Jubilee, and ODM has picked Mishimboko. Initially, they had settled on Okongo Omogeni. But I think after that, Okongo Omogeni scuffle with Oburu Odinga, he fell. And I analyzed in this video why ODM really had issues with him. So, UDA is also pushing to have former Uasin Gishu Assembly Speaker Isaac Terer picked as non-MP member of the PSA. Now, that's just the other details. This is what is happening. If you look at these figures that are here, if you look at the Kenya Kwanza, the list from Kenya Kwanza, everyone is from UDA. And now that is what is worrying many people, because initially it was supposed to go to the rest. In fact, some very informal, some corridor talks were that the people that came late were supposed to be absorbed in those positions. What exactly happened? And someone can help us understand. Wale wenye wameingia Kenya Kwanza after election, what are the privileges they've got in the National Assembly? If we say that some of those movements were just politics of optics, or just optics, I have majority, people love me, people have left Raila, people are coming. That's what we insisted it was. But then you can then challenge us 2 months in office. You can tell us what exactly they have got. Maybe let's give it time. That's coming out to see. It's an open secret. It's an open secret that nothing existed like Kenya Kwanza. There is nothing existed like Kenya Kwanza, and it's good we remind the people about this, because in the next few years there is going to be a conversation about forming one coalition known as Kenya Kwanza. From the word go, I think they should learn. The alarm is now. We're just raising the alarm now that nothing existed as Kenya Kwanza. What was there was UDA. And after UDA, the second thing was Kalenjin Kikuyu matrix. Simply, that's what it is. The rest is William Ruto akidanganya eti tunaenda Western. These were the optics. Two things: UDA party, Kikuyu Kalenjin matrix. Period. That was the template. Anything above that was just cosmetics. So from this, I think people should see very well that this decision for UDA to take all those positions is because Ruto is micromanaging everything. And the Vadis and the Wetangulas do not have a stake. In fact, what they've been given is enough. That chief cabinet secretary position, that's just enough for it. Now, um, regional balance, we've spoken about this, but it's not necessary. In the words of Mutahinguni, he's actually saying that, look here, man, don't let Ruto reward loyalies. And people are also saying that, you know what, they campaigned and worked tirelessly to see the William Ruto presidency coming. So maybe people wait for next time. This is the problem. And this is what Ruto is dealing with. Gema is complicating Ruto's plans. In everything, it's complicating. I don't know whether it is pressure from Gashagwa or it's pressure from who, but Gema is complicating William Ruto's matrix completely, because in everything there seems to be another trigger that will just pull Naomi to Sahau. They want to be everywhere, and that is why I insisted that in the fullness of time, that much obsession with going Gema will create a narrative that, okay, it's about the two. And in future elections, Kenyans might actually start protesting against that. And a protest vote against the Gama Krenjin Gins matrix cannot be a welcome call to the president, William Samoei Ruto. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my bold. And those are the two MPs that have been sneaked in by UDA.